Okay, so this is chapter 4 of the book The Confidence Gap by Russ Harris, a guide to overcoming fear and self-doubt. Now, while I'm reading this book, occasionally there might be a mistake. I'll just stop and do it again correctly. Here we go. Chapter 4. It ain't necessarily so. What's it like for you? Is it like a voice inside your head? You'll fail. You don't have what it takes. You'll get rejected. You'll screw it up. It could all go horribly wrong. Or, you're not ready for it yet. Better put it off until later. Or is it more like a sensation in your body? Churning stomach, clenched teeth, tight throat, pounding heart, restless legs, tense muscles, tight chest, difficulty breathing, dry mouth, sweaty hands. Whatever you prefer to call it, lack of confidence, fear of failure, anxiety, nerves, or tension, it boils down to a few basic elements which are described by psychologists as private experiences. Because they are experiences that only you know about. The most common private experiences that the human brain and nervous system emits are these: E. Emotions, M. Memories, I. Images, T. Thoughts, S. Sensation. So usually, when someone talks about a lack of self-confidence, they are referring to something of the following: emotions such as fear and anxiety, memories of past failures or mistakes, images, i.e. mental pictures, of things going badly, thoughts about failure, disaster, doing it wrong, not being good enough, or giving up, sensations such as racing heart, dry mouth, or butterflies in the stomach. In this book, for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to lump all these private experiences into two categories: memories, thoughts, and images. I will simply refer to as thoughts. Emotions and sensations, I will call feelings. And when I use the term thoughts and feelings, I mean every private experience a human has: emotions, memories, images, thoughts, and sensations. Now, to develop lasting confidence, we need to know three things. 1. How to handle our thoughts and feelings effectively. 2. How to take control of our actions even when our thoughts and feelings are negative or uncomfortable. 3. How to engage fully in whatever we are doing, irrespective of the thoughts and feelings we are having. I'm going to leave feelings until later in the book because they're easier to deal with once we can handle our thoughts. So let's begin by considering, what are thoughts? Thoughts are words and pictures inside our head. Psychologists' technical term for thoughts is cognition. There are many different categories of thoughts, including memories, images, fantasies, beliefs, ideas, attitudes, assumptions, values, goals, plans, visions, dreams, desires, predictions, judgments, and so on. But no matter how complex our thoughts may be, they are all constructed from two basic building blocks: words and images. Check this out for yourself. When you get to the end of this paragraph, stop reading for 1 minute, close your eyes, and simply notice what your mind is doing. You should notice either some words which you hear, like a voice, or see, like writing, or some pictures, or a combination of both. If your mind goes blank, just wait. It won't take long before your mind says something like, "I'm not having any thoughts," which is, of course, a thought. Please try this now for 1 minute. Now, I'm not going to stop for 1 minute, so just push stop, put a timer on for 1 minute, do this exercise, and come back. So what did you notice? What did your mind have to say or show you? If you notice sensations or feelings in your body as opposed to words and pictures in your head, I would not call those thoughts. I'd call them sensations or feelings. We'll deal with them later. You've undoubtedly noticed that your mind is very good at generating words and pictures. Consider for a moment, how many thoughts does your mind create in the space of just one day? Hundreds upon thousands, if not millions. and it never runs out, does it? It's always show and tell time for the mind. It's always got something to say or something to show us. And you've undoubtedly also noticed that your mind has a tendency to be negative. As I said in chapter 1, that's perfectly natural and normal. The human mind is quick to judge, criticize, compare, point out what's not good enough, and tell us what needs to be improved. And although our culture bombards us with messages about the importance of positive thinking, the simple fact is this: the human mind has evolved to think negatively. To understand why this is, let's return to our primitive ancestors. Most scientists agree that our species, Homo sapiens, appeared around 100,000 years ago. In those days, we had 4 basic needs: food, water, shelter, and sex. Not all at the same time, mind you. Gets a bit messy. But none of these things is important if you're dead. So back to the number 1 job that your mind had to do, better than any other job, was to keep you from getting killed. So how does a mind do that? It looks around for danger. It constantly scans the environment, trying to spot or anticipate anything that can possibly hurt you. 100,000 years ago, if your mind was not very good at doing this job, then you didn't live very long. Bears, wolves, saber-toothed tigers, woolly mammoths, avalanches, volcanoes, rival tribes, and jealous neighbors. There was no shortage of painful or violent ways to die. So if there ever was an early human who went through life in a fearless and carefree manner, only noticing all the good things around them, thinking positively, and nothing would ever go wrong, they would have been eaten, trampled, or murdered pretty quickly, long before they had any chance to reproduce. You and I evolved from the caveman and cavewoman, who were always on the lookout, always alert for danger, always prepared for the worst. So our modern brains are always trying to anticipate what could hurt us or harm us, always trying to predict what might go wrong. No wonder we all have so many doubts, worries, concerns, and fears of failure. This is not a sign of a weak or defective mind. It's a perfectly natural byproduct of evolution. And that is why, even if we diligently practice positive thinking every single day of our lives, we can't stop our minds from generating negative thoughts. Many people are surprised to hear this. After all, our society bombards us with messages about the importance of positive thinking. There is even a popular brand of bottled water that says on the label, "Drink positive, think positive." Please, give us a break. Can't we even drink some water in peace without being hassled about how we think? Unfortunately, what these books, articles, and courses on positive thinking often fail to mention is that although we can learn to think a bit more positively, that won't stop negative thoughts from arising. Anything you've read in self-help books about erasing old mental tapes, or deleting old programs, or eliminating negative core beliefs is stuff and nonsense. The latest discoveries in the world of neuroscience make it very clear that the brain does not eliminate or eradicate old neutral pathways. Rather, it lays down new ones on top of the old ones. The more you use these new neural pathways, the more habitual your new patterns of thinking will become. But those old neural pathways will not disappear. Those old patterns of thinking will not vanish. It's a bit like cutting a new path through a forest. The more the new path is used, the more established it becomes, but the old path doesn't cease to exist. If it gets used less often, the grass may grow over it to some degree, but it's still there and easily reclaimed. The problem with this analogy is that it is easy to stop using an old pathway in a forest. It's a billion times harder to stop using an old pathway in your brain. So here's another analogy that might be better. When you practice new types of thinking, it's like learning to speak a new language. But no matter how fluent you become in the new language, your old language doesn't disappear. No matter how well you learn to speak Spanish, You won't lose the ability to speak English. I think that's awesome. I'm going to see how much is left. Oh, there's quite a bit. I think I'm going to stop here, and I'll read the next one soon. At the end of this chapter is an exercise, and we'll do it. The reason that I'm reading this book, in case you don't know, is because I have a group, and we work together. It's called Setting Goals, Achieving Goals, and we get together online in a Facebook group and actual meetup group. And if you would like to be part of it, there will be a link either in the video, in the description box, or it's living on this page. Wherever you see this right now, you can click that link and you can belong to the same group who we are. And what we are doing is we are working together instead of alone, making plans, goals, and then sticking to them long enough so that they actually come to pass. And so that's that. My name is Kathy Roberts, and I look forward to getting to know you.